Almost heaven, Minnesota, Mississippi River, Iron Range and shit. What's going on? Jeromes, happy Monday out there, everyone, everywhere. Well, happy Monday out there to those who celebrate. Yeah, so it's been a week. It's been a weekend, but we're here. We're here to talk a little bit of Vikes. We're here to talk some Q&A. We're here to, life is extremely real at this moment in time, and obviously not downplaying that, but sometimes people just need a break, right? So like we said, we try to keep this as apolitical as possible, but I don't think there's any politics in what is going on recently. Yeah. And also, so our Kaepernick video was probably the most commented video out, and I tried to play it as down the middle, as objective as possible, look at it more from a strictly football POV, but man, people got mad both directions, and people pointed out, you're wearing the black hoodie as a message, right? No, I'm wearing the black hoodie because, as I've said before, my favorite ugly American thing possible is when it gets hot in the summer here in Minnesota, and it gets hot and humid, by the way. It does. It's going to be a scorcher tomorrow. I like having the air conditioning on so high that you have to wear a sweatshirt indoors. That's probably the most ugly American thing about me, right? So that's what we're doing now. And this is the sweatshirt I had on hand. So there you go. All right. So Jeromes, thank you very much for coming along on the live stream, as well as if you're catching us on demand. It's okay. Yeah, it's okay. And also, with everything going on, Minneapolis, Twin Cities right now, if you look at the various charities they can donate to, especially the food shelves, the food banks, a lot of people the grocery store, where they got their food, it's gone, right? So look up credible charities and help them out right now. So, yeah. All right, so let's talk some football. Let's talk some nonsense. Got some Q&A up right now. So we put it out there, just general Q&A, as well as, what do we say? Top 3 breakfast meats. Go. So now I didn't even think about the end around. So, of course, steak and eggs, that would be numero uno for me. But I'm just like talking about nearly breakfast-specific meats. So for our ranking, obviously a nice, juicy New York strip. And also we've talked about here. So I love a ribeye, don't get me wrong, but I feel like a New York strip is a perfect balance between fat and lean. I think it's a nice combo. But specifically for breakfast meats, I put down sausage links as well as a bacon and ham. Now I do prefer the links over the patties. Although if you're gonna do a breakfast sandwich, it makes sense to go with the patties. I don't know, there's something about the links. I don't know. Maybe it's just because of the surface area. Actually, that's a bad argument because patties are all surface area. It doesn't matter. However you like the shape of your sausage, it's all good with me. But also, I feel like ham is super underrated and slept on. Like bacon. Can't you see? You get all the love from everybody, right? Rightfully so. Everything's better with bacon. But ham is just such a very solid, overlooked utility player. So ham at Thanksgiving gets the love, right? Because comparatively to turkey, ham is better than turkey, unless you do. Well, you're probably doing turkey wrong. But ham as like a do-it-all lunch meat. In the pantheon of lunch meat, ham gets greatly overlooked, right? It's some really good Black Forest ham or some really good Virginia ham. It's really phenomenal. But everyone's like, oh, turkey. Gotta get turkey. Oh, roast beef. The roast beef is really good. Oh, pastrami. Pastrami is really good. All right, so maybe ham is rightfully looked. But in the breakfast meat pantheon, it's always sausage or egg, sausage or bacon, but ham is always good with everything. Just like ham, have a slice, get a nice sear both sides. Because if you get the sear, because in cooking, well, same thing in life, color equals flavor. So you got dark candy, you got some flavor, right? So that's what they talk about. Like when you get a nice dark sear, like the sugars from the ham start caramelizing. You get a little bit of texture on the outside as well. Put that with some eggs. Like there's nothing I like more. Either like a nice seared piece of ham and then some over easy eggs with a runny yolk, and just you cut around all the white around the yolk, and then you put that on a piece of ham. You get that perfect bite. Woo! Get some crispy hash browns in there too. Sure, why the hell not? Let's go win the day. Yeah. All right, so we'll put it out to you guys. Gavin O, first question. Your best wide receiver in the league now that Thomas and D-Hop are having controversy. Michael Thomas is good, but also I think he gets massively overinflated just because of the volume that he gets. So let's look this up. 2019 PFR receiving stats. Let's see if we can actually bring that up. Okay, let's do targets. All right, target. So Michael Thomas had 185 targets, which was almost 30 more than Julio Jones, which is absolutely ridiculous. We can't fit this on the screen. But, yeah, I feel like a lot of what Thomas does, and, yes, he led the league in yards, and, yes, he led the league in receptions. But also, you look at that average. I mean, 11.6, that's not great. That is not great. Can we do... we can't do that. All right, yeah, but 11.6 is probably middle of the pack. So a lot of what he does, it is strictly through volume. It is strictly through Drew Brees, like, hey, where are we going to throw it? Oh, I'm going to throw it at 13. Right. So I feel like I'm trying to think of a good example. So, like Kirk Cousins' passing stats in 2018, it was a function of volume, just volume. Now, not all of that is good volume, right? So Michael Thomas, just through sheer number of opportunities, is up there amongst the top receivers in the league. I will say that Keenan Allen is super underrated. I've always thought so. Nuke, I think maybe past peak, but he's still easily a top 5 wide receiver in the league. I don't know if there really is a true number 1 at this point, because Thielen's rebounding off that injury. I mean, Keenan Allen now has a rookie quarterback, doesn't have Rivers anymore, even though Rivers was past his sell-by date in L.A. last year. I guess Julio Emeritus, it's tough to say. I would still say Nuke, but yeah, I'm not happy with it, if that makes sense. Next up is Cole Banham. Who are your AFC and NFC sleeper teams for 2020? I got Broncos and Cardinals. All right, so I'm going to pick 2 different ones, although Broncos would be a good pick. I think that they have a lot of really intriguing offensive weapons, and anytime you have Chubb and Miller, you're always going to have a shot. Also, Justin Simmons is up there as one of the best safeties in the league as well. Sleeper teams. I'm going to say the Dolphins. I love Brian Flores. I've always loved Brian Flores. I think that him and Chris Greer have a good plan of what they're going to do in Miami. Love Tua. Also, they got the bookend. Let's look at the Dolphins draft again. Wiki 2020 NFL draft. Shout outs. We got our regular Jeromes. I got Preacher Paul, all in there for all y'all. We got Mr. Popo. That's right. We got Ethan Griffith. Love you guys. Nick Doroff. You guys are all the best. Just coming on here every single day. 11 a.m. Central Time. Do it now. All right. So Dolphins. All right. So got Tua. Austin Jackson. There you go. Noah Benigene. Obviously, they did not. Oh, I forgot about Robert Hunt. They got Roquan Davis. Shoot. Oh, and they got Kinley. Man, that's crazy. So our lads, Dolphins. Let's see what their offensive line's going to look like. So they got Julian Davenport Petzl to start. Yeah, good luck with that. Jesse Davis. I actually wonder if they'll... Man. All right, so Michael Dieter, I like from last year, was a third-round pick. Saul McKinley coming in. Eric Flowers. Yeah, I forgot that they gave $1 bajillion to Eric Flowers. Like Austin Jackson will be your day one starting left tackle. Just kickstart the clock on him. I could see the merit of actually playing Robert Hunt at right tackle. That's what he was at Louisiana. I forgot they still have Danny Isadora. That's funny. So Dolphins for the AFC. Oh, it's a back end for that. Is this uploaded? There we go. All right, so that was it for that. Sleeper for the NFC. Maybe Washington. Like Washington has so many great front seven pieces, plus they add Chase Young to it. I really like Ron Rivera, like Jack Del Rio, specifically as a defensive coordinator. Oh, also their OC now is Scotty doesn't know. I think Haskins is overlooked and overbooked. I really love Terry McLaurin. I love Antonio Gibson. Plus, if guys can stay healthy, Adrian's still doing the damn thing. They got a shot. I'd say, yeah, maybe watch it. Talk myself into it. Royal Awesome 519. If you could have lunch with 2 Vikings currently on the team, who would it be with? Lunch with 2 current Vikings. Let's do lunch with 2 Vikings that I just bag on all the time. So how about Gideon and Elfline, just for the awkwardness? That'd be funny. Actually, I would pick Michael Pierce and Brian O'Neill because Pierce can eat. Brian O'Neill still on a 6,000, 7,000 calorie a day diet. I think we'd have ultra feast going on. I think that'd be a good time. Also, his breakfast meats: bacon sausage, pea meal bacon. There you go. AJ Barnes. What's the really costly hams? Yeah. All right. So I don't know exactly which one it was, but you remember like the hummo, like the Spanish ham that's really expensive. Not the Iberico, maybe not even the Serrano, but the jamon something that. So the Costco, right when the coronavirus shutdown was going on, and all the lines of production for meat were getting shut down, and the hams like in gold foil, they're like $100 or $200 hams. They're really really good, and they usually only come out for the holidays. I just saw all the bunkers at Costco with those expensive hams for like $50, like because they had no other meat, so they had to roll those out. They had to bring them out of the deep freeze. I thought that was funny. Anyways, AJ Barnes, why does the media love household names so much to the point that they act like they never age and get slower or diminished skill sets? It's all about what the player has done recently versus what he was 10 years ago. Skull. Yeah, I agree. You look at Aaron Rodgers, I think that he's a prime example of that, but it's almost like, how baseball contracts go? It's not so much what you're going to do, it's what you've done. So you look at like Albert Pujols' last contract, they're just absolutely insane. It's a lot different than the NFL where they pay you for what you're going to do in the next 2 to 3 seasons as opposed to what you've done. But yeah, the media, there's just something about once you get a name inside your head, especially if you're a fan or a casual fan, and the media, people don't realize this. The media caters to the lowest common denominator. Like they want to get as wide a net as possible. So they are talking to the casual fans, right? So that's why they always hit the hits. That's why Tebow was so big. That's why they still talk about J.J. Watt like he's one of the best defensive interior players in the game. He's really not. He's still very good, don't get me wrong, but he probably about 4 years since we've had peak J.J. Watt just because of injury. Like the 1 year stayed healthy 2 years ago, when he had like an insane number of sacks. That was about it. But yeah, J.J. Watt, Aaron Rodgers is certainly up there. I guess maybe Fitz is still, except he's still doing the damn thing at a high level. Yeah, it's like the media moves on from players probably about a year or two too late. Tristan, do you think the NFL wanted a Packers-Chiefs Super Bowl last season? It honestly makes way too much sense how the calls went into the Packers' favor last year. And it pisses me off, but what can you do? Yeah, I want to know. Like, I want, like, the football zebras or some other referee database site to put together a database of wins caused by officiating. I just want to see that ratio. Maybe the NFL doesn't want that to be seen because I think the Packers would have an extremely high value in terms of wins brought by calls that went in their favor. Questionable calls, like calls that are astute, calls that are accurate, it's whatever. But questionable calls that always seem to go in the way of in the favor of the Packers. Yeah, it's weird. Gage Sandin, ham, bacon, and sausage. Straightforward. And do you remember Orlando Thomas? He was nasty. I do remember Orlando Thomas. All right, so Orlando Thomas was a safety for the Vikings in the 90s, part of that 98 Vikings team. Passed away. He picked up ALS, Lou Gehrig's disease. Had it for a number of years. Eventually passed away in 2014 at age 42. Really sad. But, yeah, Orlando Thomas and Robert Griffith put together 42 and 24. They were a great safety duo. I think really underrated as well as underappreciated. But came in second round pick, Southwest Louisiana. Was an all pro as a rookie because he had 9 picks, just a complete ball hawk back there. And he was great. He's just a really good player for, what was it, 6-7 seasons? Yeah, then retired, and yeah, it's really unfortunate. Really sad. R.I.P. Orlando Thomas. Next up is Eric Nelson, bacon, sausage, and ribeye. Ooh, there really is something great. I mean, well, steak and eggs, classic combination, right? But I will say, like, even if you aren't grilling a steak fresh, like, say, well, good luck having some leftover steak, right? But say that you do have some leftover, like medium rare, nicely charred, nicely marked steak, and you reheat it. So, you don't overdo it, but reheat it to like the medium-ish area, as well as when you're reheating, not oven, not microwave. Oh, maybe oven. Well, if you do oven, all right, toaster oven, as well as ladle a lot of butter on top of it so it retains moisture. There's just something great about it. I don't know. It's hard to explain. Next up is no purple glasses. Give me your honest Vikings record this year. 11-5. Stay alive. Win the North. Win the Jerome Bardi. That doesn't rhyme. Don't cur. Husgamer 15. Have you watched Outer Banks on Netflix? Any shows on Netflix you recommend? Oh, I think we've done this before, right? Where just bring up my Netflix queue. Don't steal my password. Actually, when are you going to see my password? There you go. All right, so let's see here. Jeffrey Epstein film. I want to watch this Epstein thing. Just, you have to find hours in the day to actually do it. So what are we watching lately? All right, so the wife is actually watching Outer Banks, so that's cool. Let's see here. We watch a lot of YouTube TV, mainly because you can just DVR movies whenever they come on TV, and that's sort of great. Watch The Office for the 17th time in a row. Inglourious Bastards might be, well, it is my favorite Tarantino movie. It actually may be a top 10 movie for me. Turn Washington Spies. I watched the first season. It was great. Trying to get into the rest of the seasons. That happens a lot with us in TV shows where watch one season, it's like, ooh, and then, yeah. Public Enemies is a good movie. Johnny Depp is John Dillinger. All right, so the show I'm going to recommend. Oh, where are we going? Oh, first, Narcos is good. What is the wife watching? Yeah. All right, so Unsolved. It's really good. So if you like true crime dramatizations, it's really phenomenal. Highly recommend. Josh Duhamel, the OG Vikings fan, is in it. And it goes into the background of the Tupac and Biggie murders as well as the investigations. All right, so the initial investigation with Russell Poole, as well as the subsequent investigation with the Federal Task Force in 2006. Still no arrests, but a lot of the accepted theories really get fleshed out. So super intriguing there. Actually, let's go through and look at what the wife is watching. So White Lines, okay. Last Kingdom. She's a big Game of Thrones fan, so I think she's trying to find something else. She likes Outlander. Oh, Too Hot to Handle. So they put a bunch of hot people in this house, the wife is explaining to me. And they're like, hey, don't F and we'll pay you money. Every time you F, it costs you money. And it's just so stupid. The Crown. Angel Has Fallen. Death of Stalin. Highly recommended that. Death of Stalin, by the way. That was good. Oh, all right, so the wife was going to start watching the trials of Gabriel Fernandez, except, I mean, the details about that case, man, that's tough. It's really tough. Yeah. All right, so that's our Netflix queue. Don't steal our password. Next up is, Ozarks. I haven't started the new season of Ozarks. I feel like, so here's how I operate with TV shows I really like. I can't just do like an episode a night before we go to bed. I have to watch the whole thing at once, right? So for me, when like House of Cards was really big, I would get all of my work done before that Friday because episodes always dropped on Friday, usually 2 a.m. Central Time. So I would get my ass up early and I would watch every single episode in a day. Just completely take the day off of work, watch the full season, and then never watch episodes again. Is anyone else like that, or do I just have a sickness? Hey, let us know where you're watching from. Give a couple of shout-outs there. Love you guys, and plus if you're in Minnesota or another city, stay safe. Actually, everyone stay safe. It's a good rule of thumb. Next up is Skull Nation. I feel that girl from Kick-Ass needs to team up with Harrison Smith Hitman because her name is Hit Girl. What a perfect duo. Yeah, what was her name? Kick-Ass Hit Girl. Chloe. I don't want the costume. It's like cosplay in here. Yeah, Chloe Grace Moritz. There you go. Oh, no. She cut their dicks off. The hell? No. Next up is Jerome 15. What's your favorite streaming network? Hulu, HBO, Netflix, etc. So if we had to pick one. I mean, does YouTube TV count as streaming? Because, yeah, I get it's live TV. That's regular live sports. It is great because it doesn't have NFL Network yet, but I'm sure they're working on the contract on that. But it's got ESPN. It's got Fox Sports North, although what's the point of Fox Sports North since there's no Twins games right now? I do like Amazon Prime. I feel like the shows on there are great. Plus, you can get HBO through that. I can get HBO through basically everything nowadays. But the one that we actually probably use the most, though, is Hulu. Just because of Top Chef. Because all the episodes of Top Chef are on there. So because that's what we'll do. Like, if we're just hanging out at night after dinner before, it's bedtime for the kids and, we're, playing with the kids or, daughter's just playing on our tablet, we'll just put on a season of Top Chef. Like right now we're doing season 10, Seattle, the one where Kristen Kish won, Rockstar. Man. David Bryan. Also, it's almost better to know the order which chefs are eliminated on that, or any show where it's like elimination and you know who wins, because then you can see like everything that factors into it. Yeah. David Bryant. Best cornerback in Vikings history. Bacon sausage steak, which is underrated as a breakfast meat. Agree. Hard agree. Best corner in Vikings history. God, it might be Antoine Winfield. Because we actually did this, Quasi did this before, where we were theorizing back in 2017, was Xavier Rhodes the second best cornerback in Vikings franchise history? Because the Vikings beforehand, they didn't have many. Actually, I don't think they had any Pro Bowl cornerbacks or Pro Bowl caliber cornerbacks. Certainly no Hall of Famers. So, yeah, I really think it might be Antoine Winfield 1, which is kind of depressing. All right, so next up. Extra couple shout-outs. Ooh, see, I can zoom. There you go. Karsten Ciceros, what's left of Chicago? Akeland, 14th, Skull from Bloomington, what is up? MOA in the house. Ethan Griffith, Skull. Dan Acri, Skull from Vegas, what is up? Nicholas D, Skull from Germany. Guten Tag. Hola? No. How do you say hello in Germany? Hi? Yeah. Husgamer 15, Skull from Fridley, northern suburbs representing. Mr. Popo, Skull from Southern California, what is up? Purple Rain, Wausau, Wisconsin. Devin A. Toff, Skull from Santa Monica. Man, LA's getting scary, man. Greg O'Brien, Northern California, what's up? Skull Vikes from Saskatchewan. Scenic US, shout out from Antarctica. Really? Yeah. John Hoffius, Skull from Blooming Prairie. Awesome Blossoms. Much love. Stay safe, y'all. Blooming Prairie. Is that Goodhue? Wait, is Blooming Prairie the town with a really good 9-man football team? Is that Goodhue? Doesn't matter. Next up is Tommy Johnson. Take Tommy Johnson. At work, Omaha, Nebraska, butchering chicken. Thinking about butchering the Sea Chickens. Week 5, Monday Night Football. Let's go. Actually, weird story. So I lost my virginity in Blooming Prairie, Minnesota. That's a story for another day, but that was a good day. Anyways, Bawa de ba. Skull from Columbus, Ohio. What is up? Ethan Griffith, Skull from Maplewood, up to no good. Nick Doroff, Hallo is hello in German. Oh, that makes sense. Preacher Paul, Holland for all y'all. Kellogg, Idaho. Brian Kayukin. Yeah, Montrose, Minnesota, population 5. What up? I love Greater Minnesota. There's a reason why they call every part of Minnesota that's not in the Twin Cities Greater Minnesota. It really is. I was born in a small. Well, I wasn't born. I was raised in a small town. I like small towns. Spencer Good, Skull from Mankato. I love Mankato. What really bummed me out after training camp left Mankato, after we left for the last time, I was like, I will probably never have a reason to return to Mankato, but it's a great town. It's a great city. Skull Vikes, was it to Miss Jerome, Eddie? It was not. I didn't meet her until I was 24. No, 22, somewhere in there. Julian Marker, Skull from Egan. What is up? Kai Endall, jerk dry rub wings from Zaza's are amazing. Fully agree. Do they still have the Mississippi Cajun? Because that's great. Ethan Griffith, can we get a Jerome smoke sesh? Actually, yeah, we should make this informal. That the live chat Jeromes. Not saying, I'm just saying. Not advocating, just saying. Next up. Let's see here. Skull Lee, I see DraftKings stock going over $90 by end of the year. Your thoughts? All right, what's it at now? DK stock. DraftKings stock price. All right. So it's currently at 42. What's it been in recent years? So hover around 42. All right. So opened 19. So less than a year ago. Or when was the IPO? All right. So shooting up right now. Now, I always am concerned about stocks with such a meteoric rise. You always wonder if there will be a crash in the price as the market finds its equilibrium. But I think with DraftKings, and because they do have a monopoly, since they do have both sites, I actually wonder if that will actually hurt the price. Since if you do have a monopoly, there is no incentive to innovate. There is no incentive to do things better. So there is some stagnation within the company, and it's offering to the consumer. So I do always wonder. It's an interesting proposition whether you could say monopolies it's actually good for the price because it's the only game in town, right? But could it actually artificially hurt the price just because there is no competition? I don't know. Will it hit 90? Football season is coming up. The fact that they've had this rise, all right, so March currently, and there's nothing going on. Or is this a good one to short? I don't know. I'll have to look at it. Yeah, I could go down stock rabbit holes. I always like going out. I always liked that. Mo Abdul 99. Turkey, beef, chicken. Vikings. A couple more shouts. Nick Skull from Osseo. What is up? Northwest Burbs. My great aunt was a lunch lady for Osseo High School, basically her entire career. It was great. She was lunch lady land. Slap at Joe. Slap at Joe. R.I.P. Chris Farley. Next up is Mo Abdul 99. Turkey, beef, chicken. Also, Vikings players should come together and get football in and develop chemistry, especially for the rookies. Yeah, I did find it weird. So, lots of teams getting together. You look at the Bills. They got together in Florida, like 40 of them. You know, where's the Kirk Cousins passing camp in Atlanta? I mean, it is Georgia. You could do it. Yeah. Gavin O. What are your thoughts on the fact that Afadio Denebo is a 68 overall, mad and constantly overlooked? Well, is that the 19 ratings? Because I'm more interested to see what the ratings are going to be in 2020, or are they out? Oh, maybe they are out. Maybe I am incorrect. Actually, yeah, I think I am. Vikings. Filter. Oh, no, this is last year because Diggs is still on the Vikings. Let's take a look. They have him listed as left end, probably. Oh, they have him listed as right end. All right, Fadio Denebo. Oh, they bumped him up to 69 overall. Nice. Although Daniil is 89. What? The disrespect is real up in this motherfucker. Also, Weatherly at 69. Weatherly is and Afadi are rated the same as Cheeseburger Eddie Yarborough. Nah. I would say if Afadi is anything less than a 78, we riot. Yeah. Next up is Benjamin Isaacson. Who do you think the Vikings have a better chance of sweeping, the Bears or the Packers? Probably the Bears. Also, breakfast. Best breakfast meats are bacon, wild rice sausage, and ham. Yeah. So if you're here in Minnesota, both Cub Foods and Hy-Vee do wild rice brats. So you got the sausage in the case, and then you have some wild rice mixed in there. It's good. It's such a Minnesotan thing for sure, but it's really good. Next up is Andy's Evil Twin. Was watching Dante's Peak for the first time since like 20 years ago. It's actually really good. I'm trying to think, like, what disaster movies have actually aged well? I would say Twister. Twister's really good still. Obviously Armageddon is great. Oh, The Day After Tomorrow. The Day After Tomorrow is actually a really good movie. Jake Gyllenhaal, Dennis Quaid. Yeah. Although I will say that it's pretty clear the hippie narrative that they tie in. So after everything freezes, then like the last scene of the movie is the astronauts up in the space station, and they're looking down. It's like, oh, have you ever seen the sky so clear? Oh, get out of here. Yeah. Next up is Aaron Rodgers, BFF and lover. 2020 has been tough. Not as tough as being Vikings fan their whole lives. It's fair. Josiah Jenkins. Brisket, bacon, and eggs, especially together. Woo. It's good. What do you think of this jersey mock-up by a really cool Lions fan? And does... this is malware. Guaranteed. All right, so what was this? Mock-up by blah, 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 blah. All right. Have a great day. You have a great day too, Josiah. All right, so concept of fully mock-up. You know, I don't not hate them, if that makes sense. So you got the Norse twill on the side. A little gimmicky, but... like throwing it back to the roots of the Vikings. Sure, you got the matte helmet. I have said that I really like the color rush colors. So this harkens from that. I like the block font. Yeah, if you got rid of the yellow face mask, I don't know what color. Oh, if you put the gray face mask on there, but I'm always a gray face mask advocate. The road unis are pretty tight. They look really good. Although, you do look a little bit like the University of Washington. Yellow, yellow or whatever. Yeah, I understand that people have been pushing for alternate color jerseys. In fact, I have a yellow. Actually, hold on. Hold on. Aha, that was quite the sojourn. So, yeah, got the yellow Chris Carter jersey. Woo! Get some. That's right. I'm not a fan of him, though. Like, it was fun. Like, I think I got this jersey when I was a kid. I mean, back when Starter had the jersey deal with the NFL. Yeah, I'm just like, whatever. Next up is Sir Meeps a lot. Vikings trade 2021 5th-round pick for John Ross. Yes. Tristan, I seriously think that if the Vikings avoid too many injuries and the O-line holds up, the Vikings can win a Super Bowl this year. Also, no Elfline. Please. Tristan, I hope you're safe with all the stuff that's going on right now. I'm praying it will get better there. Do you think the situation in Minnesota is going to have any sort of impact on the Viking season? I don't think necessarily. I think that I actually think coronavirus will have a larger impact, well, on the NFL as a whole, just because of the crowds and whatnot. I think that is a tenuous time in Minnesota. I do wonder if the 3-month gap between now and the season, if anything will dissipate, if there still be demonstrations, as rightfully there should be. Peaceful protests again. No rioting. I don't see it. The show, wild hog, sausage, steak, bacon. Yes. The thing about wild hog, Texas has this big wild hog problem, right? So you can actually go down there and just like shoot pigs all day long because they, the cliche is like, rabbits breed fast. These wild hogs, these scrub hogs absolutely do. And also, like the meat is like it's almost like a red meat. You know how they say pork is a white meat? That's because you have these domesticated pigs. It's just like, whatever. But you want a true wild animal. It's like out in the bush eating chestnuts and shit. And like you get like this beautiful pork that's so dark pink that it's almost red. And it's just lean and just like, get some. Aaron Rodgers, BFF and lover. Who you got? Jim Thome or David Ortiz? Great former Twins, both of them. Actually, can we do that? Can we compare two guys? BR. I would say Jim Thome had the better career. Oh, jeez. I mean, just look at this freaking thing. But I will say that peak value, give me Poppy all day long. Yeah, give me David Arias all day long. Still chaps in my ass that the Twins just gave up on him. Yeah. All right, so career. 541 and a 5.52 slugging percentage, so 541. Jim Thome had 6.12. Ooh, everyone in the 6.12. What up? Jim Thome playing for 22 years, Poppy for 20, but it never really caught his stride until he was in his 30s. So basically that first, by the way, the Twins gave him away after a 20 home run season. You're telling me that the early 2000 Twins were just like, oh, we're so good, we can just give up on these very intriguing 26-year-old prospects who had 20 home runs. Just give up. Cool. Yeah, I will say peak Poppy, though. Poppy probably should have won an MVP somewhere in there. He was second in 2009. Yeah. I mean, all right, so Thome was fourth. Philly. He had a really fun season, though. So 2010, 25 homers, 59 knocked in, 283 batting average. He was good. He was good that one season that he was here in Minnesota. Wait, no, sorry. 2 seasons he was here in Minnesota. There you go. How would you have picked differently in the 2020 draft? Probably would have gone after interior offensive lineman earlier. I understand and respect the KJ Osborne pick, but probably would have gone a different direction, potentially earlier. Well, Tyler Johnson or But we'll see how this plays out. That's why they play the games. Next, sausage, bacon, and ham. The Holy Trinity. Oh, also in a video, I don't know if you guys caught this. So I labeled the Holy Trinity incorrectly. So Holy Trinity for Cajun Creole cuisine, it's green peppers, onions, and celery. I said peppers, onions, and garlic. Doesn't really matter, but it matters. Yeah. Next up is Akelin 14. Vikings should have moved Jeff Badette to halfback. I don't think that always works out because I have this theory about running backs and wide receivers. So if you're a running back, it means you're usually been the best athlete since youth football, right? Youth football, high school football, college even to a degree. Just put the best athlete at running back and just hand them the ball. It's simplest offense and it's the easiest way to get your best player the ball, right? But I also feel like your body has to be conditioned to be taking all those hits. That's why the transition from Cordero to running back, I don't think ever would have really panned out because Cordero had never been a true running back before. So there's just something about running with a low center of gravity, running with leverage, as well as having your body used to taking 30 body shots a game, right? So like every single game is a car accident. So you do have to get used to all those car accidents being a running back, where every single time you touch the ball, you're generally going to be taken down, right? Unless you break it off 95 yards like Adrian Peterson, woo, right? But if you're a wide receiver, like how many big hits do you take a game as a wide receiver? 10, maybe. So you extrapolate that over entire career. So you take 20. So you take 20 over 8 Pee Wee games a year. So that actually, let's actually do that up. All right, so now we're going to do the math up in this mother father. All right, so do that. All right, so we'll do Pee Wee, do high school, college. All right, so we'll say just by, I can spell, don't worry. All right, so we'll just say for ease of math, hits, games, total. All right, so say 20 big hits, 20 big hits, 20 big hits. Roughly the difference between being a wide receiver and a running back. Actually, we'll do the difference more between in Pee Wee because you're going to run the ball a lot more than you throw the ball in Pee Wee football. So we'll say 25 there. Yeah, we'll actually say 25 there. All right, so this times this. And actually, I can probably zoom in just to make this easier. And some there. Some bitch. All right, so let's say 8 games per season. Actually, all right, so 4 years of high school football. So 12 times 4. So 48 games in the career there. College, let's say you stay 4 years in college. So that's, we'll say 12 games a year there, another 48. Well, maybe a couple bowl games, so 50 games there. Pee Wee, say, all right, so 6, 7, 8. Say you played from 2nd to 8th grade, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So that's 7 seasons, so that's 56 games. All right, so an additional 3,600 hits on your body. And your body does get conditioned to that, right? But also, there's a reason why the shelf life for NFL running backs, it's a lot lower than every other position. Because imagine putting 3,600 tackles on your body, 3,600 contusions on your frame, and then you get to the NFL, and then you only last for 3 years, or 2.5 years on average. And it's probably even less for that for average running back. So your body does have to be conditioned to take on hits. And Jeff Badette, I mean, he wasn't the most stout dude to begin with, so I don't think that would work. But that's a long-ass way of saying no. Preacher Paul, back in the day, Tampa Bay was in our division, NFC Central representing. Sick to think Brady twice a year. Bacon, porterhouse, cut steak, living large, as well as ground bison, and love cold spaghetti and 3 over easy eggs on top to let the yolk run through. Preacher Paul definitely gets the trucker's breakfast. It's the way to go. It's really good, babe. Ethan Griffith. Bacon, sausage patties, and Canadian bacon. which is not ham, by the way. If the Vikings were going to hire you, what's one job do you think you would be best at? Scout, GM, assistant coach, commentator. Jackass. Probably commentator. But if you had to actually pick a football job, maybe like regional scout. Give me Texas. Give me Galveston, Texas, or the Outer Banks, North Carolina, even though I haven't watched the show. Yeah, give me one of those two areas, and then I could just do that. It's like, hey, that guy at UTEP is really good. Send. Next up, Tristan. It was my birthday yesterday. I turned 21 and had 5 guys. Whoa. And hung out with my family. That's a good way to get it. Happy birthday. Happy belated birthday, by the way, Tristan. Garrett Sagedahl. What team is your favorite? Is your AFC team? What's your second team that you root for? Stay safe, man. Well, it was the Patriots. May still be the Patriots because I've always loved and respect Belichick. It might be the Browns now with Stefanski. I just believe there's a lot of untapped talent on that team. Next up, Charlie Boltman. Who does the number 24 more justice? So we got Charles Woodson, HOF, Champ Bailey, HOF, Darrell Rivas, HOF, Sean Springs, Ty Law, HOF, Stephon Gilmore, best cornerback in the game. When you think of the number 24, what do you think of right away? I would say Charles Woodson, but I do think Darrell Rivas is a better player. Next up, Zach Hazlius. Will there be football year with these riots? Yes. Yes, there will be. Skull Vikes. Canadian bacon, walleye, maple sausage are my top 3. Woo! I didn't even think about walleye. That's the camping or fishing trip breakfast. Just some fresh caught walleye. Yeah, get it done. Go catch your breakfast. Cast iron pan with a little bit of butter. Let's go. Let's go. Where do you rank our tight end duo of Rudy and Irvin league? It's a good question. So I would put Kittle and whoever else, like Kittle and Garrett Selleck 1 because it's Kittle. Actually I may go Ertz and Goddard 1 just because Dallas Goddard's really good, even though he's a jabroni and an asshole. Mark Andrews, man, they got rid of all their, like, is Crockett Gilmore still there, or is he still moved on to left tackle? Because they traded Hurst, but certainly put Andrews and whoever up there just because Lamar loves the tight ends. I would say probably 5. 5, I think is fair. Mr. Popo, what are the chances of this happening? Vikings a few seconds away from winning the Super Bowl, and then Goodell stops it because someone 1,000 miles away got the Rona. 50-50. Either it happens or it don't. Kellen Smith, who's the best at each position in Vikings history? That's a whole video in itself. Yeah, we'll have to think about that. Kyle Rippentrop, bacon, steak, sausage. Hard agree. Will Zimmer's 2017 Vikings defense be back? Would love to see it. Offensively, I completely trust Kubiak to do his thing, but I'm a little worried about the youngsters on Zimmer's side of things. Also, really hoping for to see if they're down blitz as well. I actually, you can look at it 2 ways. Number one, a lot of young players on defense. Maybe they're a little bit wet behind the ears. Maybe it'll take some time. But also, I mean, this was a veteran-heavy defense last year. Didn't quite work out. But so when you're looking at chefs, like sometimes, actually a lot of times, executive chefs will tell you that if they're looking for line cooks or prep cooks or even like sous chefs, that they want people who are fresh. Like they want people new. Sometimes you don't want someone with a lot of experience because potentially they've picked up some bad habits somewhere else. It's like, oh, this is how we did things in Kitchen X. This is how we did things over here. This is what they taught me at culinary school. Sometimes executive chefs, that's why, dishwashers will often be promoted to line cooks, prep cooks, etc. Because you can teach them exactly how you want things done, not how they were taught things at the Culinary Institute of America, not how they did things at this other restaurant they worked at, but the way that you want it done. So same thing with the NFL. Now, Zimmer has a bunch of these young players that can learn the NFL game in his system under his tutelage, and they don't necessarily have bad habits they accrued from other places, or even complacency in his system, right? So a lot of young faces and the Vikings. I don't necessarily see that. Well, it's certainly not a long-term negative. Maybe short-term they take the worst of it, but I think it'll be worth it, taking the lumps early on. Next up is Ethan Griffith. Most tortured sports fan base currently. I generally think Minnesota's number one, with Atlanta coming in second. I don't think Cleveland anymore because of LeBron's title. Also, Cleveland fans a lot of them are Ohio State fans, so screw them. Screw them on the face. What is it? Like the cities without a title that had the major four sports. Arizona I think it was just Arizona and Minnesota was certainly up there. So, although I feel like Arizona is super casual about their sports. Like, you see a lot of passionate Cardinals fans for sure. Diamondbacks, whatever. Suns fans, yes. I mean, do they still have a hockey team, or did the Coyotes move? Was that a thing? Nah. But yeah, Atlanta's up there. Even though I feel like Atlanta's never been a great sports town. They just aren't. And mainly because Atlanta's sort of like the East Coast version of LA. LA is not a great sports town except for USC and the NBA, right? And the Dodgers when they're good. But there's a lot of transplants in LA. There's a lot of transplants in Atlanta. Like, if you're from anywhere in the South, graduate college, you head to Atlanta, you start working. It's a very cosmopolitan city. A lot of people from out of town, so they bring their own sports teams, right? So if you're from rural North Carolina, you cheer for the Hornets and the Panthers. If you're from Florida, you cheer for your Florida teams. If you're from Tennessee, you go to Atlanta, you cheer for the Titans. Well, probably not the Titans, but yeah, it is tough. So you don't see. Like, you see a nice small group of hardcore Falcons fans, Braves fans, Hawks fans. They don't have a hockey team anymore, do they? Because they moved. Did they move back to Hartford? Yeah, the Atlanta Trashers. I almost call it Atlanta. But I will say Atlanta up there because, well, Georgia football fans. As well as, 28-3. I mean, how do you even emotionally pick yourself up from that? So for 3 quarters, more than 3 quarters, you're thinking, we're going to win the Super Bowl. We're going to blow out Tom Brady. Dynasty is over. And then not only do they come all the way back to win in overtime, but Tom Brady has to hit 2 2-point conversions on top of touchdowns. That's just insane. Like, just because 28-3's turned into a meme, like, I still don't think we completely appreciate the absolute insanity of that. Yeah. Nick Doroff. I heard those Kirk Cousins jerseys still untouched. Nick Doroff, bacon sausage and country fried steak. Little bit of country fried. Yeah, I didn't even think about that. That's really good. Or you get like a chicken fried steak or a country fried steak, a couple of over easy eggs on top, crispy hash browns, and also, so a lot of people will do like bowls or stacks with crispy hash browns. Don't do that, because the moisture and steam from all the other elements, they'll completely sog out the hash browns. And what's the point of that? So just get the hash browns separate. Even better, separate plate, and then just like drag their ass over a la carte as you want. Just like, we got to stop doing these videos before lunch or before breakfast for us intermittent fasters out there. Which current NFL player is the best to have mic'd up during games? I want Antonio Brown mic'd up as he watches the games. I really do want that. Actually, no. I'll do one better. Kevin Garnett mic'd up watching NFL games. I would take that over any player right now. But players, Everson Griffin, wherever he is, that'd be great. It's kind of tough. Like, a lot of the star players right now, I'm sure I'm missing someone. Yeah. Nick Doroff. Oh, I read that one. Head coach. NFC Championship, Vikings versus Cowboys. AFC Championship, Steelers versus Ravens. What do you think? 2 great old school matchups. But the Steelers-Ravens rivalry, when they're both good, really underrated. Jerome 15. What would happen if people started breaking glass at U.S. Bank Stadium and it caught on fire? don't want to think about it. It's actually a distinct possibility. Man, that'd be rough. But yeah, that would send the biggest message. Jerome 1-5. And also, all right, so to people advocating for rioters to burn down private property, it's like they have insurance. A lot of insurance companies, like they will not pay out, or at least not pay out in full, riot or civil unrest. That's a big part about commercial insurance. Also, even if there is a payout, you have a high deductible generally, as well as rates will go up, both your rate because of filing that claim, as well as your current neighborhood. So that's certainly factored in, or neighborhood zip code as well. So a lot of the businesses that are being burned to the ground or looted, like they're still taking a massive loss, even if they are like none of them would be made whole again. All right. Yeah. Next up is Jerome 15. Do you have any recommendations on Hulu besides Top Chef? No. So the show on there called The First. It's got because I'm a sucker for anything space related, so that's why. Space Force on Netflix. I can't wait to start watching that with Steve Carell. But The First has got Sean Penn. It only lasted one season, but he's really intriguing about the first manned space mission to Mars. Yeah. Pulford Skull, bacon, pork sausage, links. There you go. I think Dak would hold out. Cowboys train him. They might trade him. That'd be really hilarious to me. All right, so let's buzz through these. Zach Ballas' favorite N64 game, GoldenEye. Pretty easy. Chad Franson, bacon when done right. Sausage, bacon done wrong. Oh, yeah, just bacon. What's the difference between Daniil and Barr? And why do you keep talking like one can play the other's position? Why do they keep talking like one can play? Well, I don't think they can. But having Daniil as a stand-up 3-4 outside linebacker, you could easily do that. I think Anthony DeBar could play Daniil's position easier than Daniil could play Barr's. Because I think Barr's agility for being that size is really unmatched, unheralded. But Barr, going back to being a hand-in-the-dirt defensive end, I think the Vikings are really just wasting some of his talents. Griffin Creer, steak, bacon, sausage. Woo. If you could choose $1 million now or a penny doubled every day for 30 days, what would you choose? The latter, because compound interest is, what did Einstein say? Blow your mind or something like that. Because that would be like, what, $400 million? Yeah. Stanley Morris, iPhone or Android guy? Well, I've had both. In fact, I used to have a lot of Blackberries back in the day because I love the physical keyboard, but eventually, research and motion kind of shat the bed. So it's whatever. Had an iPhone for a lot of years. Have had Android before. Currently have an Android now. I got the Google Pixel 3. It's whatever. I don't mind either one. I'm not really passionate about either one. I'll just get the cheaper phone. Stanley Morris. If the Vikings didn't take TB5 back in 2014 and the events that transpired didn't happen, who do you think would be the quarterback right meow? They probably would draft a quarterback in 2015. Maybe they trade all the way up for Mariota, and maybe he doesn't crap the bed. Stanley Morris, bacon, hot Italian sausage, as well as ham steak. But they all go best to serve breakfast. Bacon with sunny side up over easy eggs, hot Italian sausage with a Western omelet, and ham steaks with scrambled eggs with green peppers and cheese. I think they all sound good together. Stanley Morris again. Who are some of the few Vikes over the past 10 years that would be worth breaking the bank for? Randy in his prime. Dante in his prime. Jared Allen. Yeah. Head coach. So 4th and 15 rule didn't pass, right? It did not. Mr. Popo. Sorry, Andy Cap isn't good enough. I take Cam, though. Yeah, you could probably say after that many years out of the league, probably lost weight. Yeah, his cause is better if he's a martyr. I take Cam, though. I would take Cam. Sign Cam up right now. Richard Subolink. Did we take a rather large dead money hit when cutting Klein? No. Why was there so much talk about bringing back at a reduced price and keeping him? Because they wanted to keep him. Because they were talking about restructure as opposed to a cut. Would have been cheaper than the dead money plus a reduced salary? Probably, except it didn't work out. Fried, bologna, Spam both make a great breakfast sandwich, steak and bacon. I agree. Like, being Asian, we definitely respect Spam. As you know, it's a great Minnesota institution. The pride of awesome Minnesota. Hormel, let's go. Yeah. Lastly, Jimbo, ham steak, sausage patties, bacon is overrated. How dare you? I will agree. Well, Bacon to me falls into the Wire category, where the Wire theory, where something can both be overrated and really good at the same time. The Wire is one of those. Bacon could be that, sure. Will you be covering Vikings preseason games? Of course. All right, that is all. All right, Jeromes, all this food talk's got me hangry, so let's get after it. Love you guys. Stay safe. Support each other. Love each other. Be respectful in the comments. You guys are the best football community on the interwebs. I'm glad that you allow us to be your dictator or something. Yeah. Well, I guess we do dictate every day, but yeah, whatever. See you tomorrow, 11 a.m. Central Time. You want to support the work, hit that join box, donate to worthy causes in the Twin Cities, as well as the cities around you. You guys are the best. Skol.